Within the most recent arc in One Punch Man, we are introduced to Empty Void, the leader of the ninja village where Flash and Sonic were raised. Empty Void, after monsterizing, then goes on to absorb the power of Cosmic Garou, and showcasing abilities we haven't seen the likes of up until this point. This has caused some people to debate over whether he has surpassed the human monster Garou after he got his own godly power-up. For this video, we shall be utilizing base Cosmic Fear Garou when he fought Saitama on Io, and putting him up against Empty Void with the abilities he has shown as of chapter 201. Empty Void as a human was originally someone who was a rival to Blast, but after monsterizing he gained a, quote, big advantage over his comrade, but was defeated by him regardless. Empty Void then goes on to absorb the power of Cosmic Fear Garou, and gains the power to casually slice through Blast's gravity cannons like a hot knife through butter. Considering that Empty Void recovered from his injuries and absorbed Garou's power, it could be argued that he is stronger than Cosmic Fear Garou. Although it should be noted that Blast was implied to have trained since he last fought Empty Void, so that previous scaling would only apply to Blast in the past. Regardless, he is still able to take a gravity knuckle from Blast while probably off guard and seems more pissed off than hurt. Empty Void then showcases a few of his new abilities when he faces off against Flash and Sonic, being shown capable of using ninjutsu to disguise himself as Flash, and being able to warp into other dimensions, with it being confirmed he has access to Blast's subspace gates. Void also has access to a technique called Dimension Blade, an attack that he fires from another realm that views universes as bubbles. This slash is stated to ignore energy, distance, and size, although the exact extent it ignores them is unknown. Garou, after attaining power from God, grew strong enough to where he could take dozens of gravity knuckles from the #1 hero Blast, who was stayed capable of stopping the entire S-class all at the same time. Garou then ultimately states that Blast isn't even worth his attention, implying that Garou should be stronger than Blast, which is interesting since Blast also thinks he can defeat Empty Void. Garou then later fights full power Saitama on one of Jupiter's moons, in which he is able to take several serious punches from the Cape Baldy, and can even react and deflect his attacks prior to him using Saitama mode. I think it should be noted that Garou is someone who I feel like is a bit underrated when it comes to abilities. Even as a human, he had access to the Water Stream, which can reflect one's attacks and return them with double the force. The Water Stream has even been shown to work on people stronger than Garou, such as when Garou used it to pummel Tank Top Master, who was superior to him from a physical standpoint. The Water Stream is even effective against bullets and swords, such as when he used it to deflect slashes from Royal Ripper. Garou can also use a move called the Awakening Breath, which allows one to draw out all of the body's power to its limits. He first used this when he fought a group of A and B class heroes, and quickly turned the tides against him despite him being on the losing end prior, or when he used it on the surface, which allowed him to trade blows with full power Silverfang. He can even combine some of these martial arts styles to create powerful combo moves such as the Sky Ripping Fist, which can shatter the bones of his opponents. He then learns to fuse all the rest of his styles into one singular style called the God Fist, which he then uses to chop the Colossal Sage Centipede clean in half. After Garou attained his God power-up, he then gained knowledge on the flow of all energies in the universe, allowing him to use moves such as nuclear fission punches, black holes, and gamma ray bursts. And after a brief scuffle with Blast, he eventually gains access to both his gravity knuckles and his hyperspace gates. He also has a technique which allows him to copy the user's power, speed, and technique. He uses this technique versus Saitama, where he goes from being knocked around like a pinball to going blow for blow with Saitama. So even if Empty Void was stronger than Garou, Garou could just copy his stats and then further draw out all of that power with the Awakening Breath. Honestly, I doubt Empty Void could at all hold the candle to Garou if he fought him up close, as Garou does have experience fighting sword users and is far more skilled than him to begin with. It's also pretty questionable to say that Empty Void was even stronger than Garou to begin with, as Blast was sweating from Garou's mere presence, while Blast seemed relatively confident and lax about facing off against Empty Void. Garou also has many techniques such as the Sky Ripping Fist and Fajin, which attacks his opponent's internal organs, which allow him to bypass one's durability. So Empty Void's only real win condition is jumping to hyperspace and spamming his Dimension Slash. But even then, both Blast and Flashy Flash could see this attack coming, so Garou could probably just dodge it or jump away into another dimension using his subspace gates. What is Empty Void gonna do if Garou just warps in front of him and bombards him with attacks that shred his insides? In truth, unless Void just instantly starts spamming Dimension Slashes, which he has never done in character, nor do we have any proof he is actually capable of doing so, I do not see a way for him to win. So until the next chapter drops, the winner is Cosmic Fear Garou.